And it's not a protest, it's a rally. We have another one, and the numbers will be huge. And the media will be compelled to tell the truth, because they have been bald-faced lying to the Australian people for decades now.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because I saw Mike Carlton on Twitter, for example, was suggesting that you were encouraging sedition recently at the protest, which I had a look at what you said. I saw the video he actually posted, and it was basically saying you need to stand up and vote with your feet. That is very different from suggesting that treason is about to occur and you're about to form a coup d'etat, was the words used there. What do you want people to do? Do you want them to come out and then simply vote for you? Is that the message?
The message is that this is over when we say it's over. When the Australian people realise that the only treason that's been occurring in this country has been with the federal and state governments. They have been operating outside of our constitution. I won't go into too much detail, but understand this, that the government in Canberra is unconstitutional. It has as much right to be in power as my cat. Literally. You could pick 151 people off the street at any pub and say, you're now the Prime Minister and the Parliament, and they'd have as much authority to be there as the current mob. Everybody in Canberra knows it. The bureaucracy knows it, the politicians know it, the judiciary knows it, they all know it. It's unconstitutional. It is one great lie. And so when people like Mike Carlton accuse me of sedition, that's just funny. Now, Mike was a great reporter in his day, and he was quite humorous too. He wrote some great stuff. I'm not sure what's happened to him since then, but my goodness me, sedition, me, you've got to be kidding. I've dedicated a quarter of a century of my life to defending Australia, and now I'm defending Australia in a slightly different way, which is the Australian people are sovereign. Sovereignty is not granted by the government. The government is created by the people to meet their needs, and when the government becomes destructive to those needs, the people have the right to remove it. Now, when they are as egregiously damaging and destructive and unconstitutional to the Australian people, having a protest saying "get the hell out" is pretty mild stuff. Because I've got to tell you, they have attempted to provoke us into violence. The heavy hands of the law have been allowed to occur to provoke a violent response, but Australians aren't like that. We are decent, good people, and we know that we have to win this with non-violent, non-cooperation. We just withdraw our consent, and that's what we're doing, and that's all that we're doing, and we're winning. And here's hard evidence. They are starting to fall. The dominoes are starting to fall. New South Wales Premier, good for nothing, Gladys Berejiklian, gone. Alan Jones, media personality, gone. New South Wales Commissioner for Police, Mick Fuller, gone. And so they are now on the back foot. They are struggling to maintain some control. They've already lost. They don't know it, unfortunately for them. Fortunately for us, we do. This will be over before the end of the year. January 2022 is going to be a great year for us and not so great for the elites.
Ricardo, can I ask, as you mentioned there that you can't go into too much depth about it to do with illegitimate governments, what's the foundation of your thoughts on that? Is there something to do with it hasn't been properly enacted given that we're part of the Commonwealth, or how exactly does that work?
Oh, there's any number of ones, and I'm happy to go into more detail, but there's any number of reasons how they are unconstitutional. They are changing the Constitution whenever they want to. If you have a look at the original